What is going on, guys, and welcome to... Wait, that's the camera.
Yeah, that's you.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Empty Tomb.
Episode 4, man.
Episode 4.
Episode 4, bro. We've been out for a little while, you know what I mean?
Yo, and the two Mohegans.
Two Mohegans, man. It's empty.
Let's get a moment of silence.
Yeah. Take off the hat.
Good riddance. No.
Nah.
I love you, Nick. I love you.
Obviously, we see that this part of the couch is empty, man.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Any loss is not easy.
Yeah.
And this one's actually bearable. No, I'm kidding.
Nah,
I love you, Nick. I love
on.
you. Yeah. You just
Nick, we love you, man.
No, but in all seriousness, Nick is not here. But I guess let's update them with how things are gonna be.
Yeah.
Now on.
Obviously, for reasons Nick can't be with us, but don't speculate. He's still our brother. We love you, Nick, and it's
It won't be the last time.
Yeah, it won't be the last. It's ain't like,
let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, he ain't.
I mean, they might speculate that he took our mic stands and left. But
He did. That's exactly what happened. He took our mic stands and he left, man.
So the rumors are right.
Yeah, the rumors are right, man.
But you will see him again.
Yeah,
Let's just leave it at
definitely, man. Nick, we love you very much, man.
Yeah, we love you. We have special things planned.
My little Ecuadorian brother.
And I'm good. I'm actually happy. I'm kidding. I love you, man. Yo, this is like the third time. All right, I'm good. I'm good trolling him. But yeah, you know what, man?
Who's that?
To be here with just you.
Can you check, bro? Who's that?
Hold on.
You was expecting someone?
I mean, my wife, I've been praying about it, but I don't think she'll be this annoying.
Hallelujah! Shalom, my brothers!
I'ma need one more. Yeah. I'ma need one more. What? I'ma need one more. Yeah. I'ma need one more. Woo. Coming from the BOTTOM. All I know is go in. About to run a race. All I know is I know no end. Take it up high. On another vibe. Got a view from the nosebleed. Fear no dive. Fear no man. I fear no lie. Gone with the wind. I settle all ties. I'ma need one more. Yeah.
Episode 4. We got a new co-host. My brother from another.
Amen.
Ephraim Shalom. God bless you, man. And thank you for the cake, bro. He's a good friend, man. Someone actually forgot to get me a cake. I ain't gonna mention.
Yo,
who,
this
bro.
episode's special.
Hey, man, it's real special, man. You forgot the cake, man.
Yeah, man, it's genuine love, man. I just wanted to show how grateful I am for having you in my life as a brother.
Yeah,
And I
appreciate
just want to
you,
show you my gratitude.
Likewise,
Even if it's just a glazed chocolate donut.
Yeah. The whole point is that you remembered, right?
Yeah,
Right, Mark?
I mean,
The
even
whole
if
point is that I remember.
even if you got to kiss a little booty, I mean, that's fine. You're already in the podcast. You didn't have to do
Yeah,
anything.
that's it, bro.
But a quick shout out, right? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother. Yes.
To
at
the
this
one
time of
and
the
only.
recording, yes.
How old are you now?
Man, 36, bro.
Yeah, I thought you were 35.
I thought he was older.
Nah. 36, bro. And time is flying. Time is flying, bro.
Time is flying.
But we got, listen, we got our new co-host, my brother Ephraim. We know him as June. Shalom. But he's gonna be joining us now, a new co-host. I'm just, when we were talking about man, who can we have on as the third one once Nick departed?
Yeah, we
Bro, you was the first one.
we went through a list and we picked the last one.
Nah. You were the first one, bro, because you're very, like, you have that it, bro. Like, you,
Amen.
like, we just
Amen. All
flow.
glory to God, man.
We flow, man. So,
Yeah.
bro, let's get right into it, bro. Just let's talk about how we met, how we actually met, bro.
Actually,
I met you through Isaac.
Yeah, because I actually don't remember how I met you.
Really? Yo, I remember he was telling me when we actually met that he was like, yo, why this dude, he always look like, he ain't like me, bro.
No, yeah, now I remember.
Yeah,
bro, he didn't like me.
I remember. Yo,
Yeah,
when
both
the first
have,
time I got here, like, I came here looking for Isaac. I
remember. It was on a praise service. We were right in the front.
Yes, yeah. I came.
Yep.
I came
Two thugs coming to right in a way,
bro. It was two thugs, and I'm like, nah. I don't.
Yeah, because I was introduced to Fort Manor in 2000, back in 2004, and that's when I met Moy. Moy was just yay high. He was a kid,
same height,
puny,
same height, yeah. In all aspects,
still looks like a geek, and
yo, for real.
But and I met his brother Isaac and Charlie and his brother Anthony, and yeah, it was like I immediately became like they became like family to me.
Crazy, bro.
And yeah, it was just crazy the things that we went through, the things.
What year was that?
In 2004. You didn't hear what I just said?
Wow. Nah, I didn't.
Because he's 36.
Yo, the age, bro. Yo, because I'm 36, man.
Yeah, so I knew them for that long. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
almost, what is that?
21
2004?
years.
21 years, bro.
Ooh, 2 decades, man.
Wow, if only I had relationships that could last that long.
Yeah, it's true.
21
Me too.
years.
It's
true.
But yeah, and then I left, and I came back, so broken. And
Oh yeah, I remember he came back.
I was like broken. I was out of it. And,
Really?
And when I wanted to come back to Fort Manor. I
Yeah.
came back over here in tears, and crazy because when I came back, Isaac was in the front, and immediately I went to him.
Yeah, I remember.
He invited me in. They prayed over me, and long story short, I reconciled with the Lord.
Wow.
That was back in 2017.
Yeah, 2017
is when I met you.
Yeah.
Kind of met you. I seen you
Yeah.
around. And I was like, yo, who's this guy, man? Why do you think he's...
Bro, I didn't know you, bro.
Bro, you had this grill on you.
Bro, and I
chin up high.
Bro, nah.
Like, bro,
and I'm telling you right now, I did not, like, I didn't feel anything towards him. So I was like...
But yeah, both have, that's the age.
But that's the pride.
Yeah, both have mugshot faces.
Yeah.
Bro, but I just didn't know him. It's not like I didn't like him. Yeah. I just didn't know him.
I'm like the only wholesome looking one right now.
Anyways, I mean, I'm
like that guy who got, you know.
In every occasion, this dude's always like, hey, how are you? Like,
yo, for it's like the face is mugged, and then when they hear you speak, though, it's different. I think for both.
Bro, I remember.
Right now, you're mean mugging me.
Yeah.
But people misinterpret that.
Yes,
man. That's just how my face is.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is meaning behind it, of course. Like with him, it was like, okay, it was purposely like that. Like, yo, I wanted to keep a distance away from him because I didn't know him. I didn't know him, and I felt like I kind of like.
I didn't like him.
I didn't discern it right. I didn't, it was a misunderstanding.
Because remember we used to have like a lot of gatherings in the house, and Isaac was like, "Yo, you mind if I like invite June?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't know him." Now I can talk about it, but I'm like, "Nah, I don't know him, bro." And then eventually I end up inviting you to the house, bro, and then it's been love since, bro.
Yeah, we've been locked in ever since, man.
That's it, bro. That's it, man.
God knows everything. I was the enemy trying to cause division between me and him, not wanting me to know.
Nah, I think I should have just fought it out.
He would have won.
No.
No, yeah, he would.
But yeah, since I knew him since 2017, and I knew you since Yay High, so it's been locked in ever since, man. And I've been coming to Fort Manor for quite a few years, and now I'm attending another church.
Yeah,
but I'm here now. You know, just because I left doesn't mean I'm gone.
Of course, yeah. People misunderstand that.
Yeah, I still come around. You know, you guys are still my brothers. You're still close to me. You know, it doesn't mean nothing changes.
Exactly.
Nothing changes.
Exactly. Yeah. So listen, episode 4. Let's get right into it, man. So the topic today is for what?
Is our favorite topic is relationships.
All right, but why is your favorite topic?
I mean, let's
come on,
be
brother.
real.
Let's talk about it.
I think one of the things that me and June really relate in
Ephraim,
is typo. Me and Ephraim.
Snooze alert.
Yeah, he knows me as June. It's just ever since it's been June, so it's just there.
Yeah.
He's so used to it.
And our intro is gonna say June, so get over it.
No, it's not.
But one thing that me and Ephraim can relate about, right? It's always being heartbroken. We always come together with it, and our misogynistic ways. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What the heck?
No. But our pain, when we're like heartbroken, we relate about that, betrayal. And also we relate in being in love. Yeah. And we are in love, the good and the bad. We go through
giving too much love.
We've gone through all those seasons together. Not together. We're not together, but we've gone through it. I think that's one thing that brings us close to it. You're a married man. So you know what I mean? Like
so we got all perspectives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got different perspectives here, yep.
All right, let's just get right into it, man. What about relationships, bro?
Well, I mean, we was bantering a little bit earlier. And I think let's first dive into what it looks like today. What does dating look like today in the church? Because obviously we're Christians, so let's talk first in that aspect. We have firsthand experience of what it looks like. We're both single. And we both had some experiences. And what is it looking like for you right now?
So with that said,
yeah.
Can I ask a question?
You gonna reverse it?
Reverse it, man.
No, because of what you said sparked up a question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in dating or just pursuing? Because dating is not in the Bible.
That's good.
I absolutely agree with you. I don't think boyfriend and girlfriend is biblical. That's not biblical at all. I don't think that exists. Obviously,
let's just get to the point and get married. That's it.
Now, what about courting?
I would love to.
What about courting?
At this point,
I bet, man. But what about courting?
I think that's a proper term for pursuing a woman. I think it's the way that you should view it when pursuing a woman, right? I believe that should be your perspective on it.
But courting isn't it it's the process of like, hey, we're courting, but we're getting married.
Yes, it's with the intention of getting married. Yeah, obviously because of today's culture, right?
Hold on, let me put the mic on the stand.
Yo, Nick, where's the okay? Nah. The mic stands. I think because today's culture, we do the boyfriend girlfriend thing, whatever. I mean, will we meet someone crazy enough that'll be like, forget the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Let's court and actually lead to marriage.
But even the word courting is not in the Bible.
No, I think it is.
It is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yo, I'm like, dang, he got it.
Is it? Let me do a quick check Google. Check it, man. Check it. Google. Certain translations has different things, man.
Well, maybe the translation of courting
probably
in the Bible. Yeah.
All right, so you don't believe in dating?
I mean, that's what we do anyway.
Yeah, part of, you got to get to know the person.
That's part of pursuing.
Yeah,
I think that's just a man-made.
I think the word dating came after. So it's like, I think dating is pursuing.
Yeah.
Pursuing
as you should pursue, because you don't know what you're going to be getting into, whoever it is. Yeah. All right.
Because dating is getting to know a person, going out with them.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah.
See where you at in your relationship with the Lord. See where your mind is at. See where your heart is at. So it's like, let me see what this person's all about.
All right.
So that's all part of dating.
So basically, y'all both single. I can relate. Well, man, I haven't been single for over man, me and Hillary's anniversary just made 15 years.
Really?
Being married.
Wow.
Almost this year will be 19 years of being together. Wow. So I haven't been single since 19 years.
So your anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. No, it passed already.
Oh, happy anniversary.
15 years. Thank you, bro.
Happy belated.
What?
Happy belated.
And then when we got together in September, it makes 18 years. So I haven't been single since long as that. Now, obviously, in between, I had girls in between. Same way she had guys in between. You know what I mean? There's a lot of unfaithfulness there.
Right. Which one?
Hold on. Before, I'm sorry, bro, because I wanted to ask y'all a question.
That's good.
So
this is a whole different realm.
Yeah. So.
By the way, it's not in the Bible.
No.
No, but the Bible does give you a lot of guidance of how to pursue a person, how to flee from temptation.
Let me ask y'all this: what is the biggest struggle now in this day and age, bro? Because this day and age now is crazy. What's the biggest struggle now being single and trying to find a wife? What you find it to be the most makes it so difficult? I feel like culture has a lot to do with it.
Culture
and the perception on relationships.
Culture definitely has a lot to do with it. It's the way society, the way people the world teaches us how to have a relationship. Instead of following the Bible, instead of listening to God, everybody wants to do what the world asks us to do, and the expectations that we want from each other. Like, how much money do you make a year? They ask for that. If you don't make a certain amount of money a year, then that's it. She don't.
That you're not in that bracket.
She sends you a snoozeville.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be with you. I'm like, what? Like,
So you've had that happen to you?
I had that happen to me.
Really?
I had somebody ask me, how much do you make a year? Because I make 100,000 a year. I make 100,000 a year. Can you match me?
Really?
Like,
Can you match that energy?
I was like, no, that's not it. And at that, I still ignored it. I still tried to make it work because my grace was there. But she didn't have the same.
But that was a
grace.
red flag.
That was a red flag that I ignored.
But I'll tell you the difference, right? I don't know if you guys agree. A woman wouldn't date us because of that, right? That's a reason why a woman might not date a guy. But a guy would date a girl who works in McDonald's, no problem,
real.
without hesitation. I mean, a girl could work in a pharmacy. She could work in McDonald's. She could be cleaning for Wendy's. I don't care. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me.
You know why I think that is? Because men are physically attracted. So you could work as...
Say that one more time.
Men are physically attracted. Because you could work at McDonald's...
As long
But
as you're
if-
physically attractive,
As long as you,
woman
because
won't care.
the men are physically, and I'm not saying that that's all men are attracted to. Obviously, there's like, because bro, before Hillary, let me just throw that out there. I would look at like beautiful women, and they're beautiful, but their attitude makes them ugly, and they're not attractive.
That's how.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, you can be beautiful, but then your inside is just like you just nasty and like no, you're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But men are physically attractive, and with women, but it's just weird. And I'm not trying to put women down at all because you got some virtuous women out there, but it's very hard to find them in now.
Very hard.
Because they, like you said, they want. Can you match?
What can you bring on the table?
Yeah, what can you bring to the table? Now this is just me, bro. Obviously, the man is the provider over his family, and I don't mind if a woman is a stay-at-home woman or a stay-at-home wife, and you govern the family as we should govern the family. You know, Christ is the head of the church. Christ is the head over us. We're the head over our family. I don't mind that. You know what I mean? But I don't mind if your wife, like Hillary, works. She makes, in fact, she makes more than me. And that doesn't now. Before a couple years ago, that would bother me, bro, because I felt less of a man.
Oh,
And it had
But
come in between
why?
me and her.
that's crazy because I don't see that in your relationship.
Yeah,
I didn't even.
but
know
that was before. This was like 2014
Yeah.
when Hillary was finishing school. I was still struggling in school, like college, and bro, it'll just hurt my pride. And when I seen her elevate, it not that I didn't want to see her elevate, but it was like, bro, it hurt my
Let me
pride,
catch up
bro.
to her and beat her.
Yeah, bro, exactly.
Yeah. That should be me first.
Yep. And when she obviously she's a social worker, so she makes more than me almost. She makes more than me. You know what I mean? I just said I want to throw the numbers out there, but brother, it hurt my pride, bro. But then I started to realize, nah, I mean that don't matter. Obviously, spiritually, I'm the head over her. If she makes more than me, fine, bro. It's a win for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a complete win for us. So in that aspect, I don't mind if together you guys are making either or. It's fine. I guess it's all the preference.
Let me tell you.
What do you prefer?
My perspective on what you just said. This is my perspective.
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Because the way I see, yes, okay. Even though you're just telling this to me right now, like she makes more than you, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I don't see that.
Yeah.
Because I know the Justin that preaches on the altar. You bring the word on the altar. You lead worship. You're a deacon at church. By the way, congratulations again on that.
Gracias.
And people see you as a leader.
Yeah.
People look up to you. Kids look up to you. I think that evens it out, bro. I think
yeah.
you have something very valuable that you carry. You know, you're carrying ministry.
Yeah.
And now you're not doing that by yourself. You know, our identity is in Christ. You're carrying the Holy Spirit. You're carrying the Trinity.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, that's so valuable, man.
And let me
So
piggyback on
that's
that.
what balances it out. Bro.
It's true.
Let me piggyback on that because I like that he said that because I feel like that's the perspective that I wish most women were looking through.
Right.
Because that's more
Instead of
valuable.
seeing our heart, where our heart posture is at, and where our relationship
How
with
rich
Christ
it
is
is
at,
for
how
Christ.
rich it is, and how genuine and honest it is.
Nah, it
See
ain't.
how man, look how this guy's always falling in supplication. He's always like in prayer. Like I see where he's at. He's genuine. He's honest, man. He's evangelizing. He cares about the souls, and they don't care. The majority of these women and men. Let me make it.
We're
And
gonna go
men,
back and forth.
both, because I don't want to pick two sides, but I'm talking off of experience.
Yeah.
You know, and like they rather choose what you make and what can you, like I said, what can you bring on the table? You know, but
Yeah, and you know,
Like Janet Jackson. Remember the old Janet Jackson song? I don't remember. What have you done for me lately?
and
It's more like, what can you have done?
your age is really showing.
Yeah. It is, bro. It is.
And you know what's crazy about that is that when we flip it around, right? For me, I'll say off experience because we had this recently. If I'm not if I'm not attracted to the woman, she can have all these values in Christ and all that, right? I've walked away before, bro, because I'm just like I'm not attracted to them, like whatsoever. So how you feel about that? Let's say you get a 10 for Christ, like she's a 10 for Christ, and she's not. She's a beautiful girl, of course. I think beauty is in the beholder's eyes. I think everyone's beautiful.
That's a good cop out, man. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. I've been working on that all week.
you see, I never been through something like that.
Oh, really?
So every woman that was attracted to you and you well, obviously you attracted, you found her attractive, but everyone that was attracted to you
that
and
wanted
liked you found attractive. Like, it wasn't like
there was one that, but her relationship in Christ wasn't.
No, we're
but that's what made her unattractive.
All right, think right now, a girl that was a 10 in Christ, meaning like you see her fruits. You see her fruits in church. You see her fruits outside of church. She's walking with the Lord. She is like involved in church. She is everything that you're like, wow, that's attractive. But then you look at her physically and you're like, oh man, I'm just not physically attracted to her. Have you experienced that?
I experienced that, but I haven't like pursued it.
Why? Because you're not physically attracted.
Because I wasn't physically attractive, but then I was attractive to her.
Her
heart posture
So
for
what
the
do
Lord.
you do in those predicaments? What advice would you give someone in that predicament? And you too, because I already know the advice you're gonna give. But
I say pray, just pray and test it out. Be friends. See how.
even
it
if
goes.
you're 100% not attracted,
Even if you're 100% not attractive, be a brother in Christ. I think we should always establish being a brother and sister in Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Even though
First.
first, before even if you want to pursue her,
mm-hmm.
establish that relationship of showing that you could be a brother in Christ. To her.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I think God will reveal everything in the midst of that.
Yeah, you'll find.
What you got?
You'll find clarity.
If well, I was already attracted to Hillary.
Yeah.
Now, granted, me and Hillary were in, like, I grew up in the church, but I wasn't serving. I wasn't serving the Lord. So when I met Hillary in 2006, we weren't saved at all. So I was attracted to her according to her. Mm-hmm. She wasn't attracted to me. And she wasn't. She just wasn't attracted to me.
Oh, I guess you're losing your hair.
I had hair. I had hair. But she said she wasn't attracted because I was heavy set.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
the plus size cradles.
Yep.
I mean,
And but she said as she got to know me, like I became attractive to her. And so wait, what was the question again?
So, what advice would you give to guys that are facing that dilemma? But now this is a guy, because hers.
Okay,
I
all
see
right.
a girl's perspective on that.
Yeah.
But a guy.
All right.
Who he's not attracted to her, but she's a 10 in Christ. She's
So
a 10.
my thing is, all right, what are your expectations? You when you find a woman, do you want it? Does she have to hit every single checkbox?
Of course not.
no.
Okay. So then, what check boxes are you willing to let slide?
Being able to say
all have
I can,
different-
being able to say I can wake up in the morning and look at her.
Okay, but do you know? No, but
Meaning being
I mean, I
I could tell you. I could tell you one thing.
All right, go ahead.
Because everybody has a different options. Like
Because we know the walk with the Lord. That's a
number one.
given.
That's number
that's-
one.
that's
Yeah.
priority. I think for me,
Oh, we're gonna get into it, brother. Come on.
Look at me like
you can't mix the dark.
Look at me like I said.
You can't mix with dark with white, man.
Yeah.
The darkness and the light.
Well, go ahead. Finish what you were saying,
I
right?
agree. Man.
So I think for me, she has to accept me. Of course, God first, right? I think that's number one. Of course, I'm gonna be real. You know, I'm not that physically attractive. I think personally.
You're perfect the way you are.
I do struggle with some insecurities.
Okay, yeah, like everyone else. You know what I mean?
And I feel like she has to see me for who I am, and have that grace and see past my fatness.
What is it? I was just about to ask him. What are your insecurities? But you said it. All right.
Yeah. That's my insecurity. You know, I'm working on it. Of course. Everybody works on it. But can you see me, for my personality, for what I could offer you as a man of God? But
so I'm gonna get you out real quick. Now, the reason I'm asking all this, I already have the answer. All right. The first thing that you notice when you meet someone is what?
Oh, me
It's the first thing you look at when you meet someone.
It's are you physically attractive?
You look at them physically.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna know until you get to know the heart if they actually love Christ.
I don't know, man.
So if the first thing you
really, so you're saying, hold on, you're saying so if a hold on, if a woman pulled up on you looking like One-Eyed Willie from Goonies, you remember that? You remember the movie?
Yeah.
The one with the one eye. What's his name? Is One-Eyed Willie, right?
One-Eyed Willie.
And she pulled up on you like that. Hey you guys. Yeah, but she loves the Lord. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be insensitive to anyone. Yeah.
Okay,
anyone who looks like him.
You said the key word though. Is she loves the Lord?
Oh, so that's
now,
doable.
If she's physically attractive, but you could look beautiful, but if your personality is ugly and you're walking in crisis, and I look for that. I see your attitude. I see how you carry yourself. And if it's not aligned, it's like, I'm sorry. You could be the most beautiful person in the world, but your personality could make you look ugly.
All right, but we're asking you the opposite. If she came looking like Willie and she had the heart for Christ, you're telling me that you're
don't start fidgeting now.
Yeah, because that's the first thing.
No, because God knows how I want her.
Oh, okay. So there's still an aspect to like, Lord,
there could be things that's off about her.
No, you're physically not attracted to her.
What's the non-negotiable? What's the non-negotiable?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him now.
What's the non-negotiable?
Non-negotiable. The checkbox would be like, okay, all right, I'm just throwing things out there. Okay, yeah, she don't cook, she don't this, she don't that. But I need these three things in a woman. Don't include loving the Lord. That's a non-given.
That's a non-given, yeah.
What are the three essentials that, man, I need these three things out of 10.
After this episode, you're going to have either two kinds of women in your DMs. So answer.
Answer correctly.
I got to see where her grace is at.
Okay.
So grace is one of them?
Grace?
Definitely.
Grace towards what? Be specific.
Yeah, how much you want to mess up?
Towards everything. How you are in conflicts. When conflicts happen, when problems happen, how do you get? Do you get discouraged? Do you want to leave immediately? Do you want to argue? How do you handle that?
That's important.
So grace is
important.
Grace is definitely important. To see where your loyalty is at.
Okay.
Loyalty.
That's the one. That's number 2, and 3. Dang,
Pretty.
Yeah, she gotta be beautiful. Man.
Okay.
All right then. So there you go. You proved my point.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel like that's too easy. Forget about pretty. Obviously, you got to be a little attractive to her. What would be the third one?
Man.
Because obviously you're not gonna.
I have to trust her, bro.
Trust.
So, but don't trust have to do with loyalty?
That's true.
Yeah, her proving her loyalty.
So grace, being graceful, being merciful, loyalty.
Okay, character.
Okay.
Character. I gotta see where her personality is, how it is. If we could we have the same love language and
same humor.
We have humor.
Okay, I'm gonna push it a little more.
Sheesh.
Because grace and loyalty all have to do with character.
Ooh.
So that could be counted as one.
So now I'm trying to think. Why are you single then?
So that could be counted as one. So let's count character as one, as grace, loyalty, all bundled in one. And even if you don't got 3, it could just be a 1 more, right? Because grace and
He
loyalty
doesn't
and
ask
character.
for much,
Yeah,
ladies. He doesn't ask for much.
listen, man.
I don't know. She has to be like, I guess, romantic, intimate, intimacy.
Are you a hopeless romantic?
I am.
Oh, he
Really,
is.
you are.
I am. I am.
Really,
Instead of texting me, he sends me letters on a crow.
No,
really.
Yeah, I am.
All right, so define like a hopeless romantic. Like what? Give me some. You don't gotta go into detail, but just like what's considered to you like a hopeless romantic.
I don't know. You gotta be very. You gotta be spontaneous.
like you come in from work and she has the latest pair of Jordans that they were out of stock. And she has it on the bed with rose petals around
letter
it.
on it. Like, yo, like,
And the letter that says,
keep the spark going.
Yes.
it says, open the closet. There's another surprise, and it's a PS5.
Nah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
She just gotta be spontaneous, bro. Like do things that
Shows you that she cares.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be my birthday. It doesn't have to be our anniversary. It has to. I don't have to be none of like be
Flowers on Monday.
You know what I mean? Flowers on Monday.
Not at a
come
So
funeral.
you're saying you're able? That's what you want from her, or you reciprocate that as well?
I reciprocate that as well.
Okay.
As well, either or.
Yo, I'm like Darnell John. Listen, I'm trying to hook up my brothers here.
Because that's
man.
part of my love language. Let's talk about the love language.
Yeah.
Like affirmation,
Man,
Yes,
giving.
I think they're all of them for me.
I know yours. Yeah, you're
What?
definitely affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
You're definitely physical touch, as far as like holding hands and things like that. Man, what are the 5 love languages?
It's physical touch,
There's
giving.
I don't know.
Physical
I
touch,
don't know.
giving,
Disprove it.
affirmation,
Affirmations.
and
I think you definitely affirmations.
communication.
Yes, this dude definitely affirmations, communication, physical touch.
I think in that order, too.
Yeah, giving. I don't know about
Giving, yeah.
Giving is
Yeah.
Okay.
like giving gifts.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Gifts.
Do you
I
feel?
didn't bring you a donut today.
No.
It don't mean I
no,
don't
I'm
like
saying,
to give.
Do you? I'm saying, is that a
Or
regular
receiving.
occurrence?
Receiving.
For me,
Receiving is a
That's part of the giving, like receiving. I
yeah,
guess.
receiving. I actually have a problem receiving.
Really?
But giving wise, I love to do like specific surprises. Like I like to incorporate details of the person.
Look up the love languages.
Yeah, that's true. I like to incorporate the details of the person to make it very specific. Like I'm big on that, you know. But receiving, I have a hard time receiving. But
I believe there's like 6 of them.
affirmation, definitely, I'll say is first.
Yeah.
So let me ask this
Affirmation
hard
is first
question.
for me.
So obviously, you have what I was gonna say. You have a type. You know what you want. If the Lord brings the woman, I don't want to say if you find the woman, the woman of God that you want right now. And this goes for both of y'all. Do y'all feel like y'all ready to take that on
Yeah, man.
and all the responsibilities that come with it?
Yeah,
That's a good
man.
question.
Because it's easy to say yeah. And I'm not saying that y'all can't. I'm just asking a general question. Are y'all ready to take on that responsibility?
Well, what are you talking about? Like straight to marriage or just relationship?
To have someone that
relationships.
intimately close, right?
To
have someone that intimately
It's
close.
because relationships, also marriage.
Pursue
Yep.
to be married.
And do you think past relationships will hinder this relationship? Because sometimes we can go right into a relationship and you're not.
Well, that's why I believe you should get counseling immediately.
Okay.
If you're serious to pursue somebody, find somebody you could trust. That a pastor, of course, that's like the number one.
Yeah.
Choose a pastor to like counsel you, marriage
But
counseling.
the question is, do you think you're ready?
I think I'm ready. After all the things that I've been through in life, I'm
You
ready.
think
bro.
that, like
I'm not
God
getting any
prepared
younger.
you
I'm
through
getting
all
older.
this? Yeah.
I'm not getting younger. I'm getting older, and I believe the Lord will equip us with the right tools as we go.
Yeah.
But we just have to like do it the right way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, for me, I'll tell you this. I would say in the last 12 months and change, I've gone through a big change in my life. Before I was dealing with, having Lyme, as you guys know. I was like, doing bodybuilding. I was fit. I was very, I thought I was healthy, dying inside, but didn't know it. And at that time, I thought I believed. I don't think anyone is ever ready, but I'll get to that point. At the time, I thought I was.
Yeah.
I really thought I was ready for marriage. I was dating a person around that time. My intentions from the beginning was to court, and I believed I did it as such. I changed all the rules that I've ever had before, changed the game completely. I did things that would glorify the Lord, kept restrictions and, put boundaries. And I would say it was a Christ-centered relationship, and that also made me feel like I'm ready. Like, I'm doing this good. I'm getting like an A+ with God right now. And, that was heading that way. That was my intention. My pursuit was for that. I was already sure about it. I was already sure about getting the ring and everything. And, that ended. The person walked away, and then I got sick, went through a whole thing. But being sick, I realized, heck no, I wasn't ready. Heck no. The person that I was at that time, in that season, I'm like, no way. Even though I was doing all the right things, it looked right.
Yeah.
In here, I wasn't ready. So now, when you ask me that question, I believe that it's an ongoing pursuit and desire that you should have to be in right standing with God, which will show you how to continue each step.
Right, because I believe all the past relationships that we've been through, those are all counterfeits to what God really has in store for us.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like I said, I don't think no one's ever ready. I think you find someone who's willing to walk with you to get ready.
Come on.
I like that.
Well, yeah, because you're not perfect. You're not gonna be perfect.
None of us are. We're both gonna come with baggages, man.
And you don't walk into marriage knowing what the heck you're doing because you've never been a husband.
Oh,
so
yeah,
as long as you find someone who's willing to say, I want to know how to become a wife, and you're like, I want to know how to become a husband, and you both are in that pursuit together.
Let's go through this together. Let's do it together.
Exactly.
And if you want to be humbled, get married, man. Because the marriage experience
It'll humble you.
it's humbling, bro. It's humbling. Because there's times you got to compromise. There's times where, like, all that stuff that's in your heart, bro, comes out. You know what I mean? And you got to, if you're waiting to be perfect to get married, keep on waiting, because it's not. Because each party's going to come with some baggage inside. You got to work through that, bro. Mm-hmm. You have to work through that. That's why
grace comes, man.
Bro, it's the same thing. That's why the I believe Paul says that the marriage covenant is like a mystery. It's a representative of Christ in the church. You know what I mean? And that's why even
I laugh because Paul also says, yo.
Yeah,
like,
and Peter even says, like, Peter says,
don't get married.
Like, it's very serious, even to the point that Peter says, like, yo, be careful how you treat your wives, because it'll hinder your prayers.
Whoa.
And then I forgot who was it. It's either Paul or Peter that says, he said, love your wives, and I'm paraphrasing, give your lives up for your wives as Christ gave his life up for the church. So there's a lot of dying to self, bro. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of sacrifices that come with it. If it's relating to the Christ and the church, bro, that's serious. Because what did Christ do? Christ was selfless. There's gonna be times where, listen, they're wrong, man. You gotta have to eat that up, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to eat that up, bro. My grandfather gave me the most sound advice. Me and Hillary used to argue in his house. Bro,
man, why? Damn, I actually feel bad for him.
Yeah, arguing, and when it's just me and him, he would speak. He's like, "Listen, you got to keep the peace in your house. Even if she's right, make it think. Even if she's wrong, let her win it.
Right, because that's what Christ would do.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a sense of, like, where you have to correct and things like that.
Revisit.
Yeah,
but don't let it take your peace.
Yes,
from your home.
yes, yeah. So it's a representation of Christ in the church, bro.
You see, when you ask me if I'm ready,
yeah,
I know those things. Like, I'm ready for those kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm ready for those kind of challenges. I know how to diffuse those kind of situations.
Yeah.
You're willing.
I'm willing. I'm willing to walk away, even though I know you're wrong. I know there's a right time that you accept it.
Yeah.
And when you're wrong, you know.
Yes.
So just let it calm down. You know, extinguish the situation by walking away. Continue to show the love of Christ to her. Bro, that caused confusion. That caused confusion in her. That's all burnt coals in her head.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he's still loving me even when I'm.
Yeah.
And she probably knows that she's wrong.
Yeah.
She don't want to admit it at the moment, you know. But later on, when everything's diffused and everything's calm, I think you guys could come together, and it'll come a time when you guys will talk about it.
And that's why in your greatest mistakes, even in relationships, you can learn so much. Some people are ignorant. They'll be like, oh, for instance, no, I'm taking advice for someone who their marriage worked, and you got a divorce, so what you know about it? What you know about a good relationship? No, because that person has learned from his mistakes. You could learn a lot for someone who got divorced.
I mean, they say that
Because I guarantee that person has things that they regretted that they did. They wanted to do right.
yeah, don't they say that I think a smart person learns from his mistakes, but a wise person learns from another's mistake. And it makes me think about like what you were saying, that the willing aspect. I feel like people try to have everything together before entering a relationship.
Yeah.
Before
it's not realistic,
about,
bro.
Yeah, it's not realistic. I really think that you said earlier, God will give you the tools. Well, that's the whole point of a Christ-centered relationship, right?
Right.
Is you guys depending on Christ to be the center and the pillar and the foundation of your relationship. And the biggest problem when you don't have Christ as the center, when you go into a relationship and you go into an argument, you go with wanting to win that debate, wanting to win that issue instead of going in to serve.
And no one wins.
Like how we're called to serve one another. Christ served the church, right? Christ didn't come because what we did, like for him. What did we do for him? We didn't do anything. For God so loved the world, he sent his son, not because we loved him back.
Yep. And yet while we were still sinners,
I think we should love our spouse, our better half. I think we should love them. We should love each other the way he loves us. And things will be easier, man.
Yeah.
In the relationship, you just love your wife, love your husband the way you expect God to love you. The way you expect God to love you, the way he loves on you, the way he shows mercy on you, the way he shows grace on you, and all those moments that how many times you walked away from him, how many times you sinned in front of him, and he still has grace. He still welcomes you with open arms. He's still loving on you, and that's the same.
Yeah, I love that because you go in like, how can I show grace? How can I be
same way he showed it to you?
Show mercy. Yeah. How can I serve her? Right? How can I support her? How can I be a helper? You go into it like that because you start thinking about how Christ goes into every situation, every season in your life with you. Yeah, it's true. I love that. I mean, that's like, how are you single?
Your relationship with Christ should be a mirror for your relationship.
You wanted to ask something?
I did actually. You knew that. I was trying to cook up.
I
have a question for you since you're a married man. How do you maintain? Because I respect and honor your relationship with your wife. Shout out to Hillary, my sister. The way you guys, I've seen you guys going through your ups and downs for the small amount of time that I've known you guys, and you guys are still like a strong tower together.
Yeah,
and I highly respect that. So my question is like, how do you maintain a strong relationship? Like, what are your strategies of keeping that relationship, the spark alive, the intimacy of having a healthy relationship?
That's a good question, bro. I don't want it to sound cliche, but it truly is the Lord, bro. Obviously, you see like the finished product, and I don't even want to say the finished product because God is still working in us, and we still have a lot of flaws, both as individuals, but also as a couple as well. But a lot of people see like the product now, but they don't see how we was before. They don't see all the mistakes that we made. They don't see times when I cheated. They don't see times when she cheated. They don't see times when we fought, bro.
Physically. Who won?
Physically. Like Hillary's no punk.
Hillary won.
At times she did, bro. They don't see the times where cops were being called. They don't see times where knives were being pulled out.
What?
Yeah, like everything. They see that, bro, and it was literally, and obviously people try to help us, and thank God for those people, but there were people who told us, bro, straight up, you guys are too much to handle.
Wow.
Literally. They said, hey, you guys are too much to handle, and you guys got to have to figure out what you want. And at the time, bro, I was offended, bro. Man, how how dare this person say this? How dare this and that? And from there, it was literally the Lord. Like, we didn't do marriage counseling. It was God, bro. God, like, we just figured it out as we went. And then I start to look back, and I look back what this person said, and bro, I'm like, yo, they're right. They're completely right. Because we wanted to be together, but then we were doing the same things over and over. We wanted to change, and we had this vicious circle. It's in 2 we decided, okay, we're gonna, like Paul says, listen, when I was a boy, I talked like a boy, I did things as a boy, but now that I'm a man, I do things differently. But it was just like that. We had to figure out, okay, at the time we had all our kids. Jasleen really seen most of our junk. Jasleen seen most of the fights. You know, it was just nasty and disgusting, bro. And so we had to come to like a crossroad, like, all right, what do we want to do? Obviously, we love each other. Obviously, like, I can't see my life without you, and that's even still now.
Wow.
We had to figure out, okay, what do we want to do? And then from there, when we decided to take it seriously, and okay, obviously we still have our
it's like you've been through too much to let it go.
Yes, yeah, and bro, there was times where she walked away, and I was left alone. This time where she moved to Connecticut with another guy, and I was here alone. I only had Jasleen with me. She took Josiah and EJ. So there was dark times, bro. There was really dark times, bro. That I'm just like, man, it was. I didn't know like what was gonna happen, but God always drawed us back together. He always draws back together. And I remember telling you, when me and Hillary, we've been together since 2006. But my perception on marriage was a messed up version perception on marriage. Because in my household, my father was there. My mother was there. They were very present parents, but they weren't married. So I didn't see that model. Obviously, they did all that they can do as a parent, as a mother and father. I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. But things that I experienced was my father cheating on my mom, just back and forth arguing. You know what I mean? And obviously, I don't blame them for it. I don't think like it made me to the man that I was, but that influenced my relationship, with Hillary, and all that. It just played a part, and we had to make the decision. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? We need to stop all this. You know what I mean? So it wasn't. Back to what I was saying. It wasn't part of my lingo marriage. And I didn't want to get married to Hillary. When we got saved in 2010, we were having sex outside of marriage while being saved. We got saved 2010, having sex outside of marriage. And, bro, it wasn't even a prayer. I just said in my mind, because Hillary always wanted to get married. She always had this fantasy as a child to have this marriage and, have the wedding dress and all that. I didn't want to get married. I always thought marriage was for white people that have a house, and and that was it. So she wanted to get married, and after everything we've been through, it was like, no, I told the Lord, I'm not getting married to this crazy woman. Bro, that was my thing. I said, I ain't get married to her. And it wasn't even a prayer, it was a thought. I just thought it, bro. It wasn't even like I was petitioning to the Lord because I didn't want you. And I just said, well, if you want me to get married to her, you're going to have to tell me because I don't want to marry her. A couple weeks later, Teresa, shout out to Teresa, she brought a friend from the church. And at the time, Hillary was pregnant with Ezekiel. But around this time, she had cheated, she had left, and she came out pregnant, right? So I told Hillary, listen, she had left, she cheated, I said, if you're pregnant, I don't want to be with you. And this is real, bro. I'm going to keep it transparent. And I told her, because I don't know if that kid is mine. But for somehow she knew, bro. She knew. And we were, long story short, so we went, there was just a lot of like hurt on both of us. And this Teresa's friend prays for us, and we're like, I'm praying, and she starts speaking into our lives. And she's like, there's a wall between you guys. You guys been through wars, this and that. And she looks at Hillary. Now, Hillary's maybe like a month or two. She's not showing. She points at her stomach. She says, "You're with child." We're like, "Oh,
That's crazy."
I'm like, she's not showing. You're with child.
You didn't know this woman?
No. First time I'm meeting her. Never seen her. She said, "You're pregnant." And then the woman looks at me, bro. This is how I know God is real. The woman looks at me and says, "And you need to marry her." She didn't know if we were married. She didn't know. But I knew that was the Lord speaking to me because this is a prayer that I had unknowingly. But God answered it, because God reads our thoughts. He knows our heart.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
You know.
And 2 weeks later, we didn't even have the wedding. I knew the Lord spoke to me, and I said, "Okay, I want to do it the right way, and we're gonna get married." And the thing is, I didn't even know that was a sin at the time, being married without.
Oh wow.
Having sex without being married. But we were so on fire for the Lord, and we're like, no, we want to do it the right way. 2 weeks we got married, bro. So it's been a journey, bro, to answer the question.
And now that you look at Ezekiel, there's no denying that's your kid.
Yep.
They all look like him.
Yep.
And the mom too.
Yep. And time flies, bro. I look at my kids now, I'm like, man. And obviously there's regrets, bro, because I'm not perfect. So there's regrets. I'm like, man, maybe I could have read them the word a little more. Maybe I could have, installed in them a little more. But God doesn't waste time.
Did you ever thought about taking the DNA at that time? At that time.
At the time, I thought about it. Yeah. I really I thought about
even
it.
after all that prayer and everything?
Yes.
You thought about
I was still unsure, bro. Sometimes we receive a word from God and then the enemy tries to steal
still
it.
ask questions.
Yeah. But when he was born, there was no denying it.
Yeah.
And he started to look at me. And even Josiah. So we had Josiah a year after, and I told Hillary, while being in the church, we just had Ezekiel. You need to abort Josiah.
Oh wow.
No.
Yeah, she was gonna do it because then she went to the hospital and they did a sono and they're like, "Oh, we see the sac, we don't see no egg." And I was like, "This, yes, bro. I'm keeping it real.
I'm telling Josiah.
I'm keeping it real." I was like, "Yes, yeah." And she was like, "Oh no." But this how I knew the power of prayer, right, bro? We go to a prayer service, and you remember Anna? Brother Louis? Obviously, you know Brother Louis.
Louis, yeah.
Remember his niece?
Anna. Sounds so familiar.
Well, I called her Miss Anna. Yeah.
I recognize her.
Yeah, Anna Acosta.
I know
it was her and Melissa's mom, Lisa.
All right.
And Hillary's there. She's like, I'm going to pray. And I'm like, bro, Lord forgive me, but I was like, I know how these two women operate. You know what I mean? Like, they hear from the Lord, and I'm just like, no. I didn't want to be part of the prayer. No, I'm serious. I did it.
You didn't want to hear the truth.
No, I did it because I didn't want the kid. So they start praying. They're like, oh, no, when you go back to the hospital, there's going to be an embryo. There's going to be a seed. They're going to see it. She went back and seen the seed.
What?
And I'm like, and Hillary was just like, no, I'm keeping it. Do what you want.
Thank God.
But now I look back and I'm like, wow, I can't imagine my life without him.
That's also because you didn't have an example.
He's such an awesome kid, man.
In terms of like abortion or like you didn't really like.
Yeah, and the fear got at me. It was like, man, we can't handle it. None of us were working. We were on welfare, bro. We were getting cash every 2 weeks and food stamps every month.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fear, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to.
Was that the first time you ever had to face the conversation about abortion?
I think so. Yeah. I believe I knew abortion was a sin, but I didn't care. I don't know.
And so you and your family walked through that desert, and God really refined.
Yeah.
The whole family, man.
Yeah.
All your relationship with your children.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this day on, the Lord is refining you, but look where you guys are at right now.
And time is just going, bro. I remember just having Jasleen in 2007, and now next year she's gonna be graduating high school.
And only God can make you guys this whole. Because thinking about how you said earlier, as cliche as it sounds, I mean it's not cliche at all. Because let's take God out of the equation. Where you're at right now, you don't even see a bridge. You don't even see a pathway. you don't see any way of getting here where you're at right now without God.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. If God was not involved, bro, I would not. We
Everything
wouldn't
with
be
him.
here.
I mean, everything you're talking about, he's involved.
He
so
led
everything
all
that
the
you
way.
just shared,
It was
he's
strictly.
involved.
I can literally say. Now, I'm not speaking against counseling, but I'm telling you that we did not go to counseling.
God
It was
met
the
you.
Lord who
No
restored
marriage counseling.
nothing.
God met you
Not
guys.
one session.
Wow.
I believe
We met with pastors and everything like that, but
I believe
And
he
just
met
in
you
case,
guys.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with taking marriage counseling.
yeah,
I believe he met you guys where you guys were at because also he knows your mindset. You probably didn't even care about that, about counseling, marriage counseling, but he did meet you guys exactly where
Right,
you
where
guys
was
were
that?
needed. Yeah.
right. Was that? So it was the Lord who really
That's
like.
strategic. You know, he does things like that, and it's just crazy to think. Like people, a lot of times, like you said, we hear a word from God, and we're like still doubting it, and we want confirmation, and it just goes to show when you guys don't trust in the Lord, as simple as that sounds, how the bigger picture would have never been painted, and you would have missed out of a beautiful portrait of your life.
Yep.
You see, like listening to you now, it's like, dang, bro.
I don't want marriage. Nah.
Nah, man. Bro, I've been through so much in life. Like, I don't care, bro. I'm willing to go through more fire. I'm going through fire now. I don't care. It's like, how can I say this? Like, I struggle with, like, you know, everybody has to practice purity before marriage.
Yeah.
Like, you got to wait until after marriage. It's like, but there's a lot of people that I know, and then you sharing right now is like, and God still ordained your relationship.
Yeah.
You guys didn't practice purity.
No.
And
yet we didn't know any better. We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
and there's people that do know,
And still do it.
and they still got married, and some had successful marriages, and some don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that leaves me kind of confused. Like, Lord, do you want us to practice purity? And I've been trying to. Like, in my past relationships, I have, and it left me with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it left the woman walking away because there was a relationship that I had in the past, and she wanted to, and I didn't want to. And they say a man's supposed to lead, so I'm here trying to be a leader.
Yeah.
By leading her to Jesus' feet and trying to practice purity, trying to respect the purity and wait for marriage, and yet she got offended.
Yeah.
You know, like no man has ever pushed her away, and she's an attractive woman, you know, a very attractive woman, and she's never been through that. And all these years, all this time, you've been praying for a man of God, and then when he comes, and he finally respects the purity,
Yep.
you get offended because no man has ever pushed you away.
And I think that was the issue, is that she never experienced that.
Right.
So when someone comes along that does practice purity, and which, by the way, you should continue to practice purity, because that's what God doesn't want us to live in sexual immorality. When that comes around, it's a shocker to her. It's a shock not only to her, but on both sides, whether woman or female.
Yeah, and the reason why we continue to practice that is because sin separates us from God.
Just fold your legs right there.
Right? This is why I'm single. Sin separates us from God. Sin is the issue why Jesus came. So I think that's why the answer to that is no. We'll continue to practice purity. We'll continue to practice righteousness because it's for our benefit, not because of the things we want, but because of all the things that God has provided through His godliness, His goodness that we get to inherit in being in relationship with Him. So it's really for our benefit. Let us not forget, right?
Yeah.
Why we do these things. Because I get what you mean. I've been single before that last relationship. Last year in May, I was single for 7 years. People don't believe it. Some people are like, oh, no way. No, I spoke to women. Like, I try to get to know people, but I never entered a relationship. I never said, hey, I want to be together. Let's be, boyfriend and girlfriend. Let's try it out. Never.
Yeah.
For 7 years. And I will say 5 were by choice. And then the 2 were me searching. But the wonderful thing about it that I learned is that in those 5 years that I stood like single and celibate, by the way, throughout all this, I got to actually grow spiritually and grow, maturely in the aspect of relationship where I realized I know what I want. So I'm not entertained by limited, temporary attention that I could probably get from any girl. You mature in those things. And then when I actually got to a place where, all right, I know what I want, I'm going to start looking.
Yeah.
You start to realize, because I don't settle anymore, it seems more lonelier, right? Because you're not settling no more because you want attention, you just want company. Now you know your worth. Mm-hmm. And I started realizing, wow, there's less options when you really get to knowing what you want and valuing those attributes that we talked about earlier. A person's heart for Christ, you begin to see, wow, the options are very few. And, going back to the first question, 'cause I believe you just answered the first question he asked us in the beginning, which we didn't answer because we got into it, how we're doing like right now with our singleness. I think that's one of the biggest thing for me is that I get lonely. I feel like there's moments where I love my alone time, but then there's times that I will see like I made fun of him when Hillary went away for a weekend and he was like spending time with me. OD, I'm like, yo, I'm not Hillary. Like, chill out. And he went to work with me. Like, Yeah. But, and then I'm like, I wish I had that. I wish I had.
He was Hillary for the day, man.
Yo, for real. Yeah, I was Hillary for like almost a weekend if I didn't like take space. But I wish I had that. That's what I truly struggle with is feeling lonely, which leads me to, like going out, just keeping it real like you, my issue will be like going online, looking at things I shouldn't be looking at, and it's not what I want, but it's like to kind of fill in the void, putting myself in that place. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to get it. All these 7 years for what? A girl walked away from me. I still celibate and I get rejected at times. I got rejected for being short. Like, guys, I'm 6'1", like it's ridiculous. 6'1". And I've gotten rejected for being short. And I think about,
wait, are you really 6'1"? No, you ain't really 6'1".
6'1.5".
Impossible, you're 6'1".
Are you guys serious?
Impossible, you are 6'1".
Of course, I'm not 6'1".
Oh, okay, all right.
6'5". No, but I've gotten rejected for the most silliest things because I'm like, why wouldn't they just look at my heart? Like, if I'm ugly to you, fine.
You're like, yo, my heart's tall.
Right, but it's like the money thing. It's like, I'm sorry I don't make this much. I mean, we do live in a hard time. We both might have to work, and that's okay. It's about being one and teamwork, realistic.
I'm not driving a car.
Yeah, right? Like,
for real.
If we get a car, God bless us, right? Like, geez, we made it.
He's the one. He's the one. He has a car.
Yeah, and also what you're driving. Like, I've gotten rejected for so many.
Just in case, this goes both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man or women.
Yeah, it goes both ways. But, well, you know what? No, I'm going to be real. I think when it comes to women, all right, let's speak first on the guys because before anybody gets offended. I think what you think is something that guys would say, oh, man, because of this, forget her, even though she's attending Christ. But he's like, oh, because of this, I'm good. Like, they'll completely reject something really good for something shallow or something really small. Like, what do you think us guys do? For me, I told you it's attractiveness. If I'm not attracted to you, I would say no to a woman that loves the Lord.
For me, though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you say yes to anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. It's be real. What do you think? That guys would be like, miss out a great opportunity for. I really can't think of
it's just
else.
the attractiveness. That's really it.
All right, now let's go to women. Really height, 6 figures. Car you might be driving or not driving, or if you even have a car.
Well, hold on, because men can deny women off of height, off of weight.
It's not common.
Weight.
Oh, weight.
Height and weight, yeah.
Weight. Height is not common.
Okay, so you'll date a woman 6'3"?
At this point, man, she could be 6'9". At this point, remember that's single for how long? No. I think she won't even want to be with me. She's like.
Well, what if she does?
To tell you the truth, if she was 6'3", and she loved the Lord,
yeah,
and her
snooze alert,
she was attending Christ, and I was attracted to her, and she's just tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, at this
Why
point,
would I-
at this point, anything.
At this
right?
point,
At
yeah.
this point, anything. Even
He's
an
like, it's about to be
unbeliever?
2026, man.
Even an unbeliever.
Oh, that'll be another episode.
Yeah, no.
How much we're going in right now?
No, yeah, no, we're gonna close out in another 5 minutes. But yeah, I would like to. What about an unbeliever?
That opens. All right, real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
I think
Right, June?
my
Real
opinion has changed throughout the years
Really, tell us about it.
because I like to be logical about things, but adding a little bit of my experience into my studies, I've come to the conclusion that
What's the conclusion?
I've gotten rejected way more by women in the church
Really?
than women in the world.
So you got more results from an unbeliever.
In
Don't be scared to
terms
answer.
of
Don't be scared to answer.
huh?
Don't be scared to answer.
More results in terms of like maybe more distance in like how far it went.
All right, let's cut to the chase.
Okay, yeah.
Let's cut to the chase. Hold on, let's cut to the chase.
What?
Would you
guys were
pursue
dying to put
a
me-
woman for marriage if she is a unbeliever, cold heart unbeliever?
No. Let me give some context.
Okay, explain.
She's a cold-hearted non-believer. That sounds like a woman who's like just
Well,
completely
just a non-believer.
okay. Would I even give that person a chance?
Yeah, would you give that
Because
person a
pursuing
chance?
for marriage, that's different, right? I'm not gonna pursue a woman for marriage if they completely don't want nothing to do with God.
But just
like,
an unbeliever doesn't attend church, not a Christian.
yeah, I think there's no harm in getting to know someone to the degree of where their thoughts are and their views are about faith. I'm not saying go on dates with this person.
Okay.
I'm saying you can have a conversation and really get to the point like, hey, what's your view on faith? Because I love the Lord. I'm someone that, I'm big on my faith. That's my number one passion. And I'm quoting what I've said before. I'm scripting what I've said before because I've been in this situation. And I've gotten like, oh yeah, I'm not really like into that. You know what I mean? Like I don't go to church. I'm just spiritual.
What if that person's like, I don't know.
All right, but first, like this person, I'm spiritual. I walk away.
Okay.
Now, if it's a person like that, they're like, I've never thought about it, and then they're open to it. I don't think there's a harm in trying to see if they're open and willing to go to church to get to know this lifestyle.
Okay.
Now, there are risks in this. Okay, she can fall in love with you. She can pursue God for you, right?
Yeah.
And actually just fall in love with the idea that you guys have a Christian relationship, you guys have this Christ-centered relationship, but once you guys are not good, she's like, forget God. She only could see it when you guys are together. So when you guys are even over with, she's like, forget God. I only could see it when I was with him. There's a risk. I'm not saying that go for it. I'm just saying that
So play with it.
it's not
basically.
impossible.
So basically play with
I'm
the
not saying
idea.
play with it. I'm saying use wisdom. If you really see that the person, you're like, oh man, she's just,
I'm generally trying to understand. So wouldn't use wisdom like, hey, I'm just not going to get involved if you don't love the Lord already.
That is wisdom.
All right, welcome. All right, guys, we got about it.
That is wise too.
Okay.
But doesn't Paul say, why do I do the things that I don't want to do?
No. You guys are not equally yoked, and that's it.
Yes, I agree. But that's why I said don't go any further than just a conversation.
Okay. Like, hey, I'm getting to know you. Hey, do you love the Lord? No, I'm really not. No, I'm not into
Yeah,
it.
because no one gets heartbroken. No one builds up an expectation towards something or start building soul ties, and you get to get the information right away. And if she's
Still feel like you're trying to save the person.
it can lead to that complex. If she does it for you, you end up failing in that aspect, and you do that.
Yeah, because it's not about Christ. Now it's about
Yeah, like I said, it's a
doing
risk.
what you like.
It's not
Yeah.
for everyone.
Because she will get discouraged.
no. True. It's not for no one. If you're a believer.
You know why I say this? Because
Because I'm not in that level that you're in Christ, so I don't understand. You go out to eat with this person, and that unbeliever is gonna start drinking right in front of you. They think
drinking is not a sin.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
It's a whole nother topic.
Not a
but-
sin. Is she
No.
intoxicated?
And she keeps on ordering drinks, or he.
All right.
keeps on
Okay, she's getting
ordering
drunk.
drinks.
Yeah. She's getting
Okay,
drunk.
all right. Then
And worldly music comes out, and they start.
Is it Prince Royce?
stupid.
Bachata, man. So I mean, like I said, it's not for everyone. But if that's the case, I wouldn't even be on that date. Like I said, I can get my information in a conversation. I could get enough to understand that this is the thing. Women in the world have a greater appreciation for a man that is in Christ because that treatment, they're not used to it. And I believe a lot of women in the church that I've gotten to know or have experienced and that have rejected me, or just friends that I've gotten to know, I see they don't really value that because they see it all around, and they always saying, "Oh, I can't find a man of God." Come on, you're gonna agree with me. Open your eyes because there's a line of them, but because they're not 6 feet, because they're not making a certain amount of money. I'm telling you, these are because of culture, because
and
of
it's not all
social media.
That's not the
all. Yeah, of course.
It's not the majority.
Guys, this is all, when we say these things, it's not everyone. It's always, majority, or certain population. It's not everyone. So no one take that too personal. If it's you, it's you. If it's not, it's not.
And if you do, just blame it on money.
But yeah, I feel like they have a greater appreciation because they're like, I've gone through all these, a-holes in the world. They treat me a certain way. This guy, like, why is he nice to me? Why do I have to give him something for him to be nice?
Yeah, but he's not your sanctification. And you're going to start trying to play that role, but you're part of the
You don't try, but they might get confused and think that. Yeah, that's why I said there's a risk. I agree with you guys. There's a risk.
There is a high risk. There's always a high risk.
But I'm not going to say it's impossible because there are stories like that. I'm not saying to go for it either. I'm just saying it's not impossible that it can work.
I think
we're going to go back to this later on in the future to see how it works.
But
would I prefer a woman that already loves the Lord? Of course. Absolutely.
I think that's the woman that you always strive for.
Absolutely. But if you meet someone that you have chemistry with and they're just open to it because they never really had anyone really come and represent the gospel, they probably never had no one really come and bring a conversation. And it's when they hear it, they're like, this is what I've been wanting my whole life.
Maybe you're not there for that. Maybe you're just there to share the gospel to her.
And I think you will see that if you're truly grounded in Christ, you'll see it. Because I've had that experience. I've had that experience where I'm not with the person, obviously, right? I'm not with them, but I got to bring the gospel, and and that alone was way more worth, applying than getting a relationship from it. So I agree.
Well, we did go a little over, but let's wrap this up, man.
All right, guys, don't date unbelief unless you're
guys, please, if they're not a Christian, don't date them. Just don't take advice.
Don't mix the dark with the light, man. Come on.
Come on, man. Can we agree?
You cannot mix it both together.
I agree. That's why I said, quote me, you can get enough information within a conversation. You don't have to. No, I agree with you guys. You know why? The chat. Because some people push the envelope and they act Christians. I'm talking about Christian men and women. They're like, they act all like delusional and confused when it doesn't work out. When they push the envelope with a person who wasn't a believer, who didn't have interest at all, and they continue to see them and date them, and then they wonder why.
They keep on getting hurt.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is, let's be real. That person is over here dancing to Bad Bunny. They're jamming to it. They go to concerts, EMD concerts, raves, all those things. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll go with you on Sundays. I think you should stay away from that. Because just like we're judged by our fruits, a.k.a. how we walk, you get to see where they're at. You see how they're walking in life. I mean,
by the fruits you will know.
Yeah, by the fruits you'll know. They have no fruits.
I think that's a good episode that we can get into later, because it does say, like, if something about an unbelieving husband or your unbelieving partner, if they want to stay, let them stay. Mm-hmm. Because who knows, the person can, I'm paraphrasing, come to Christ.
Oh, we know you're paraphrasing.
Yeah, all right, man. So episode 4 in the books. I have my brother Ephraim with us, new co-host, and looking for Shalom, brothers.
And remember, the tomb is empty.
Yes.
Is it like that? Did I do it right?
The slogan, yeah. It's and remember that the tomb is empty.
That sounds better. You do it.
Yeah.
And remember that the tomb
all right, we're good.
Go ahead. Empty. Yeah, close us out with that, man.
And remember that the tomb is empty.
I'ma need one more. Yeah. I'ma need one more. I'ma need one more.